Hello, my chicklets. Thank you for stopping by. Today we are going to be reading part 3 of our Flip the Script series, A Vigilante's Hero. Before I get into that, though, we are getting closer to the holiday season, so I would love it if you would all check out the link in my bio and let me know if there are any stories that you would like me to read that are specifically based off of your culture's holiday practices. I want to try and get a diversity of different religious practices and holidays and all of that, but unfortunately, I don't know where to start looking. So if any of you have any ideas or if you have a specific story that you love to hear around that time of the year every year, please let me know so that I can look into it. Let's go ahead and read A Vigilante's Hero. Things were strange now. Patton had certainly not expected his life to turn upside down simply from a few chance meetings. Virgil had been the first to change things. He was spectacular, in a way that Patton couldn't explain. He had never been someone's hero before, and Virgil looked at him as if he could fix everything in the world. It was a weird burden to go from villain to adored hero, even if just in the eyes of one person. He went from believing he was an enemy to the world to realizing that at least one person cared for him so deeply and completely, and Patton felt it necessary to repay that faith. He wanted to become everything that Virgil expected him to be, and he had tried to be just that when everything went down with Remus. That was the second meeting, and Patton wasn't sure how to handle that. He had kidnapped a hero, and then proceeded to cry in his arms. Remus was strange. Patton had expected things to be a lot more difficult after kidnapping the hero. He had expected things to get complicated, but it seemed like nothing changed. Apollo and Artemis gave him no more trouble than normal, and in fact, it seemed like Artemis hadn't said anything about their previous meeting. They were supposed to have a conversation, but Patton had been avoiding it. It was easier than he thought it would be. Remus's emotions were like a beacon. More so than they used to be, and anytime he would get close, Patton knew to leave. It made Patton's new plan much easier. He wanted to help as many people as possible, and he wasn't sure how that would have to change after his talk with Remus. Maybe if he kept avoiding the hero, he wouldn't have to have a conversation at all. "You've been avoiding me." The man that stood in front of him at the library was tall, rather buff, and with a very familiar silver streak in his hair. I don't know what you mean, sir." Patton tried to keep his face completely neutral as he looked at the man in front of him. Remus, had found him. Though he had always known, hadn't he? He called Patton by name the last time they met. Well, I'm fine coming to your place of work every day until you cave. Or you could just talk to me now." Patton frowned, tapping his fingers against the desk. "Fine, okay, we can talk, but after my shift." He really hoped this wasn't going to become a habit, because he didn't want people coming to his work for other reasons. Having Remus wait for him was completely different than having Virgil wait for him. Virgil always sat quietly, off to the side, doing his own thing, but Remus was sitting there, staring at him. Every move he made was being watched, and it made the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. He was thankful when his shift ended, if only so that he could stop Remus's staring. "Okie dokie, I'm done with work. Ready for this? Do you want to have it here? I'm more than happy to talk about this out in public, but I have a feeling you're less interested in that." "No, you're right. Let's go somewhere else." "Perfect. I was hoping to take you out for a coffee date anyway." "What? A date?" "Well, yeah, you didn't think me keeping the secret was just because I was a nice guy, right? I'm interested. Partially for your looks and partially because I have a feeling there's a lot more underneath. You were very protective of that human, and I'm interested." Patton blushed. He wasn't expecting this. This wasn't how things were supposed to be going, but he didn't hate it. Remus had been warm when they were stuck in the warehouse together. He had told Patton stories and had reassured him that everything would be okay. He gave Patton a number he could text if Virgil wasn't okay. Patton hadn't texted the number, but it had meant a lot just to get it. I figured that was against the code or something. Even if we heroes have a specific code we had to abide by, I probably wouldn't. The only fun thing about rules is trying to get around them. That's not really a hero mindset to have, says the Vigilante. Patton bit his lip. Before Virgil, he would have quickly pointed out that he wasn't a vigilante. Things had changed. I didn't go into this expecting to be... He was blushing softly. And what were you trying to be? A villain? Remus laughed. You are too kind and too soft-hearted for that. You really think so? Yep, you're a regular puffball. I don't think everyone else sees it that way. Why, because of your powers? Patton didn't look up at him, and he stopped walking. It had always been about his powers, something he couldn't change, and he was fighting hard against a society that still believed him to be nothing but a villain. He wanted to believe he wasn't, but sometimes it was hard. Hey, don't do that, Remus said, crouching a bit and lifting up Patton's chin gently. Just 'cause people are dumb doesn't mean you have to believe them, he said softly. Powers are what you make of them. I could have easily been a villain with my powers, but I made a choice, and you obviously have as well. I think you know this already, but you were never a villain. He could feel his lip quivering, and he was trying hard not to cry again in front of this hero, but Remus was gently stroking his hair, looking at him with such a kind expression. No one's treated you right, little mind warper. I think it's time someone did. Thank you all for listening. Again, that was part 3 in the Flip the Script series, A Vigilante's Hero. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to join me for the next one, and I hope you have a wonderful day.